Key McInerney 17234395 Dynamic Mechanisms, Loci, Linkages. Okay, section 1, I briefly explain what a locus and a link mechanism is, why you have this topic in DCG. Linkages and loci are in other subject areas such as maths, technology, engineering. I've explained all that, shown different examples. Stimulating pupils' interests, section 2, motivating, engaging pupils, how to show value of this topic, and evidence-based learning to support stimulating pupils' interest. I also have a video in there of a digger, which is a real-life example, and how that would be an example of a mechanism. Section 3 then is key principles, prior knowledge needed before studying this topic, both from junior cycle and leading cert material, and then the fundamental principles in both DCG and graphic syllabus that relate to this topic. I've briefly explained that. Then I move on to resource and textbooks. So David Anderson's The Key DCG book, and how that differs from the T4 website and what similarities they have. Then this is exam questions and their solutions. This shows that each year an exam question that comes up on dynamic mechanisms, it is a real life example. So again, this would stimulate the pupil's interest. Then I move on to anticipated difficulties by asking my peers what they would find difficult about this topic. Majority of them said visualization would be the toughest part of it, and also confusion when it comes to drawing lines, and if there's too many lines on the page they'd find it hard to follow. Then I went on to resource development. I made 2 GeoGebra resources and how they differ. I also made a physical model which would be very useful inside in a classroom, and students, it would be an activity for students to make. I made it out of straws, with lollipop sticks would be much easier to use, and thumbtacks, and this would be an activity that would really engage students. Then I moved on to another resource development, which is a step-by-step example of coming up with a solution to a question. I do this under a visualizer. This would be much easier for students to follow, and I also would be able to go around the classroom and see if students are struggling, and if they are, I'd be able to help them, and also students will be able to ask questions when I would be completing this under the visualizer. Then my assessment topic is a real life example, a baler, square baler with a dynamic mechanism would be part of it. Students would have to figure out the locus of point C and plot this locus. They would be tasked on the key principles around this topic and figure out what movements are each point making. So then here is a solution to the topic, or to the question, and I have also explained the effectiveness of this assessment in this topic, what key principles are being assessed, and also the marking